Principal, coordinators ma'am, director ma'am, and my dear colleagues and students, and of course, viewers of the show. A day like today is very important for us as it has provided us the opportunity to meet with few students after a long time, as well as provided them a chance to meet each with others. It is indeed my great pleasure to welcome among us the alumni Akshita Singh from 2009 batch, Biswajit Singh, Biswajit Kundu also from the 2009 batch, Khushbu Chaurasia from 2010 batch of our institution. Our alumni have established themselves as successful individuals in almost every field of their life. Akshita, Akshita Singh is working as a people analytics manager in LT Source Company in USA. This company is a real estate and mortgage services firm. Our next alumni, Biswajit Kundu, working as a project manager with the Tata Power Company Limited in Nagpur. Organization goal is providing excellence in project execution, world-class safety processes, and driven green initiatives. Our next alumni, Khushbu Chaurasia, working as a team leader for a Norway-based liaison office in apparel sector at Warner AS in Chennai. Really, it's my great pleasure to be part of this school, which has achieved excellence in providing the nation with such talented youth. So once again, I formally welcome you all, Akshita, Biswajit, and Khushbu.
Thank you, ma'am. We're really happy to be here.
Now, I would like to invite our principal sir, vice principal sir, to address you all to this virtual meeting.
A very good morning to one and all present here. Respected chairman, sir, colleagues, and all of our alumni. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on the auspicious occasion of our institution's alumni meet. Our alumni has brought great glory to our institution. They have set the example of being successful and good human beings. Once again, I welcome you all, my dear children. Although it's been so long, but it seems as it was yesterday. Faces are still very fresh for me. Really, I am delighted to see you people. And I would be very happy to listen you. Now, I request to our honorable principal ma'am to say a few words. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Manoj sir. A very good morning to all of you present in this webinar. I feel deeply nostalgic today at getting the privilege of talking to all three of you after a long time. Believe me, all three of you were my favorite students, Biswajit, Akshita, and Khushbu. Many years have been passed, many years have been passed, but it is a fact that all the teachers who taught you still remember you, as all three of you had a great impression on everyone. As all of you are now in a completely different world after coming out of your school days, you must have learned many lessons in your life. And it would be very nice if you'll share your experiences, your lessons with the present day students of JPS. I must say that all three of you are true role model for all the students of JPS. I remember your sincerity towards academics, the discipline part, your helping nature, and so many attributes. Again, I'm really very happy, Biswajit, Akshita, Khushbu, all of you are here. And I'm really proud and lucky that you are the part of this organization. God bless you, children. You will always be in our heart. Thank you for joining this webinar.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time of the special message of our director, ma'am, Ms. Akansha Singh, ma'am. So I would like to call ma'am, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing you're doing well and staying safe. I warmly welcome our alumni, Akshita, Khushbu, and Vishwajit. Probably I wasn't around while you were here, and we couldn't meet as much. And in my opinion, I feel alumni are the backbone of any institution. And they deserve to be cherished and remembered. Like Antima ma'am said, that all of you are successful individuals in all walks of your lives. And I think this platform will enable you and our current student to, just share your sheer hard work and your achievements, whatever you have been through in school and once you walked out of here. And it's so good to have you here.
Thank you,
I wish all of you all the very best in all the future endeavors. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to call Sarika ma'am to have alumni talk. Sarika ma'am.
Thank you, Antima ma'am. Hello, Akshita.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Vishwajit. Yeah, fine.
Hello, ma'am.
To see you all. Yeah. Very fine to see you all. You know, the best gift to the teacher is the success of student. So we would like to hear your success stories today. And I'm sure you would be a success in fulfilling your dreams, right? So let's start our talk. Ready?
Sure.
To whom should I start? Start first. It's very big confusion for me. So I think that I must start from Akshita, right? And you three are always there with me. So you can also share your feelings, your memories and everything with us in between also, right? Akshita, just I want to know that, what did you think of the school after so many years?
I'm really excited about how the school has grown since I graduated, I think sometime in 2009, I think. Makes me feel very old when I say that here. But like just seeing how there have been so many webinars lately, considering how the situation changed after COVID struck every one of us. Even before, I used to follow the Facebook page, seeing such nice performances during annual functions and people doing so well in board exams has really brought me a lot of joy. I'm really proud of what the school has been doing so far.
Good. So, Vishwajit, would you like
Yes.
to say something on this? Yeah.
Yeah, as Akshita already said that it's quite nostalgic to be back to school once you have moved out, and it's almost a decade now. So passing from 2009 and walking up to 2020. So and when you turn around and look back and see how things have evolved over the period of years. So it's really a joyful moment that I see. Yeah, I was associated with a part of such a legacy. So yes, that is all the way we have walked ahead in life. And when we look back and we find some of the similar faces, we have been mentored by Mamta ma'am, and Manoj sir was a part of us. And as ma'am was saying, most of you, although we walked at a you all walked at a later phase of the life, so we hadn't have met until now. So this is a memorable journey. So when I try to recall many of the events that we had in the past and now what we see, we are following the Facebook pages and we see how events are monitored, how events are conducted, and how the upcoming generations of our students, our juniors, so they are having a wide lot of experiences. So that is one of the proudest moment we can have. Yes, our school is continuously evolving along with the time. So yeah, I'll congratulate to every one of our teachers, our students, our juniors to be part of this JPS team. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for your view, Vishwajit. Good to hear you. Yeah, Khushbu, would you like to say something about your school firstly? Yeah.
Honestly, it's very nostalgic to be connected to everybody. I haven't seen these faces like in 10 years now. So, I mean, the feeling is overwhelming, first of all. And secondly, I would say that I have been following over the period of time how school has been functioning. So, what I have seen is one thing did not change, which was flexibility. So, while I was a part of the school, I saw that the JPS team was always, willing to make some certain changes, and they were always very flexible in terms of whatever curricular activities they had to add, and were very open to suggestions. I see that that thing is being carried on. So that is one thing that I would say is, I mean, so good to see after such a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, we also feeling very pleasured to talk to you today, as we always appreciate that these you all are the alumni and you people are in touch with us. It's a great pleasure for us, right? So Anthima ma'am,
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Akshita, this question goes to all that three alumni, Akshita, Vishwadeep, and Khushbu. What courses or coaching have you joined after passing 12? Yes, am I audible to you?
Sorry, ma'am. I think your voice broke in the middle. Could you please repeat the question? Sorry
What
about that.
courses? Yes, Akshita. Am I audible right now? Okay.
Yes, yes.
What courses or coaching have you joined after passing 12 from JPS, given the public school?
Khushbu, do you want to go first? Or is
Yes,
the question? Oh. Okay, sorry, I'll go first. So, ma'am, if I'm understanding the question correctly, you're asking about like what course or what college I joined after JPS, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, so I joined BITS Pilani right after JPS, where I did my dual degree, which was Masters in Science and Chemistry, as well as Bachelor's of Engineering in Electronics and Instrumentation. And I was able to spend 4 years over there before moving to my first job, which was at Flipkart.
Okay, Khushbu.
So I graduated from NIFT Mumbai. So I was doing my bachelor's in fashion designing. So I think Mamta ma'am would remember, because when I was leaving around, I think in 11th standard, Mamta ma'am told me that you should not leave the school. Whatever you want in the school, we will have it here. So I think she must be remembering I started.
Yeah. I do remember, Khushbu.
Yeah. So Mamta ma'am told me that whatever you want here, we will get it here. So I think I continued with that. So I moved on to have NIFT, have my graduation from NIFT. And I graduated in 2014, and I started working with an export house, which was Orient Craft. That was my first job. And then I continued working in export house for some period of time. And then later I moved on to Lygen offices.
Yeah. Okay, Vishwadeep.
Yeah.
Do you want to say?
Yeah, I would just like to elaborate my situation here. So this was like actually it fascinates me how technology has evolved over a part of this 10 years time. So things are totally different now, but things used to be entirely different what we were having in the past. So choosing the appropriate field and what to do ahead once you have graduated, because up till high school you don't have anything to worry. So you are coming to school, you're doing your regular classes, and then ultimate aim is, yeah, you need to go into some colleges. So that is what mindset and the social stigma we had back in the past. So I was quite confused actually, ki, what should I do? So then it happened, then once I had applied yeah, one thing was sure, that this engineering tag has to be there. So this is what the social stigma I'm talking about. Had to be an engineering course. Then what to do? What specialization should I go for? So there are variety of people. I used to get a lot of many feedback. Of course, those were personal views. So based on their personal views, they used to guide us. Yeah, you should do this, you should do that. Okay, but then I'm not clear. What should I do? So this was a bit of a trouble for me. Then I had I got an offer in electronics and telecommunication engineering. Then I thought, no, this may not be the appropriate one. So before signing off, yes, I'll go for it. Then I had a change in mind. Then I tried to go for marine engineering, because somebody told me, yeah, marine is better. Then I got an offer from ITME, Kolkata. So again, I had to drop it. Then I got an offer in civil engineering. So these are the various phases that I walked in out of confusion. So it is very important. One thing I feel it is very important to realize ki what stream and what should you do. You should only do something which suits you, or something which you like or would like to do in your life. So this is a very important decision which I feel our juniors should choose it while they have this time, while they have such a big boost in technology nowadays, and a lot of counseling and the initiatives that JPS is taking. So they should use this, and they should identify and help themselves so that they don't come land themselves in a messed up situation like I did. So anyways, I'm happy because whatever I chose, so I'm enjoying my work today. So I chose to opt for civil engineering in KIT University, Bhubaneswar. So over a period of this 4 years, I did a BTech graduation, and from 2013, then I got campus selected in Tata Power Company, and ever since I am working with Tata Power, and over a period of this 7.5 years, so I've worked in various different milestones in my life and covered various milestones. So so that is what I have been through. So right now I'm working as a project manager based out of Nagpur, and we are doing the solar projects. So that is my journey so far.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Good to
yeah, Vishwajit, please tell our viewers and the students that how you have done the preparation for the BTech, entrance BTech.
Yeah, entrance for the entrance exam, earlier, I have been taking actually a few coachings because in 2009, I remember the preparations in JPS was quite aggressive also. So although the courses in the school were there, but always we had a feeling, no, we need additional supplementary coachings. So yeah, I took some maths extra classes and maths, basically PCM, because your whatever after 12th or after high school, if I say, we need to have a very rigid and firm base for our basic studies. Because if you want to go for engineering, then you'll need to have a very solid grasp on the basics of PCM. And then if you want to go in for medical area, so then you need to have a strong grip on biology. So these are some of the basic and primary building blocks. So I took some additional coachings. So these were private tutorials only. So that is how I prepared.
Yeah, through coaching you have prepared yourself for the entrance, I must say that.
Yes.
Yeah, good. One more thing I want to ask to Akshita. Yeah,
Yes,
Akshita. Yeah, why you have chosen the Indiana University for doing MBA?
Man, firstly, I did.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I did not know that I was going to go to the middle of nowhere in the US. Like when you're in India, you know about the East Coast, you know about the West Coast. No one tells you there's like a middle region. So the first time when I got my admit, I just thought, okay, let's see where this place is, and I realized that this is a place where the temperature goes into like negative 15 degrees, negative 20 degrees. And I realized, oh my goodness, I should have researched more, but kidding aside. So when I actually went to BITS, we had a course in management, and I was very much drawn to it. So I was really struck by how some very small business decisions such like what do you keep near the counters of grocery store really help increase your sales. So just minute things like those help me propel into the business side of things rather than being very technical. So I think it was like third year of my college when I decided I wanted to do an MBA. It was just about where should I be going. As in when I was talking to my seniors and I spoke to other people at Flipkart when I was working, I realized just in the US, because there are people coming in from so many different countries, you get a very vast immersion of cultures, different thoughts. And that's exactly what I wanted for myself. Like I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, something that I thought I was very much getting into at Flipkart. So that propelled me to the US, and Indiana University had a very decent program. So I applied, and somehow they saw something in me and I got an admit. So except for the location, I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, Akshita, please tell me that you are having your juniors in JPS and they all want to know that how they must prepare for coming up to the Indiana University, as you have told us. Or it's good.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah. So basically for MBA, we do have a standard exam, which is a GMAT, which is just one portion of it. So one thing which is very critical for MBA is having a very well-rounded personality, making sure that you have a good dosage of not just academic excellence, but also extracurricular activities. So schools over here really look into people who have done some community service, whether it's joining an NGO or like really giving back to the society. Having a good career also helps. And additionally, from the academic side, they look at two perspectives. First is the GMAT. So there, if you get a good score, while every school has a different measure, usually a score of 700 plus on 800 is considered to be very decent, and that kind of helps you get ahead of the line. And the other piece is they also look at your whole academic journey, starting from your undergrad, from your college. So it's very important to have a good foundation and just showing that you have done quite a few things in your life and are capable to go through the rigor that comes from the business school, because that's what they exactly want. Like when you get into a business school, there are multiple things thrown at you. You have to not only do well in studies, but you have to network with companies, talk to multiple people, and also socialize, because it's all about building a network. So they just want to see if you can get ahead with that.
Yeah, it's necessary that we must look all to all the sphere of these phases of our life. Yeah. Thank you, Akshita. Yeah, Khushbu is there. Khushbu? Yeah, please tell me that how is merchandising is different from fashion designing?
See, fashion designing is only on the aspect of how you're using your creativity and creating one piece in general. But when it comes to merchandising, it is about how you're making it mass production. So whatever you're seeing in stores is mass production, and that is a product of merchandising and not just designing. So designing is one aspect of this industry. Merchandising is what it is bringing it to the retail market.
Yeah, Akshita, yeah, Khushbu, how you have planned to choose this merchandising as your career?
While I was doing my
we have not heard about merchandising. Firstly, yeah, Khushbu,
yes,
I think that students didn't know about this merchandising. So would you like to explain something about merchandising as a career? Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to start from the very beginning, how I came across NIFT as a career, I mean, as a good school. So basically, while after 10th boards, I was just looking around for options, how I wanted my career to be. And I was very keen and interested in creative field. I did not want to have that monotonous engineering background type of life. So I...
Thank you, Khushbu.
Sorry.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, but creative, you know, that is the thing that...
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but... so yes. I mean, whosoever has a creative brain would never want to be a doctor or an engineer. So they, we just try to look out for options, how and which industry will be best suited for us. And because I come from a background where everybody is engineer. So this was a very new thing for me. I came across NIFT. My sister helped me to find out about the creative options. And then I decided that I will pursue fashion designing. So I wanted to continue with my fine arts classes. So I moved on to another school, but then I had a discussion with Mamta ma'am regarding this. And she told me that whatever you want, we will get you in the school. So fine arts classes were added, especially because I had requested. And then from there, I started preparing for NIFT examination, which is conducted in 2 rounds. So one is the general aptitude test, and the another one is it's creativity test basically. So where you have to make 3D stuff and everything. So you just have to use your imagination and create. So then while I was pursuing fashion designing, because I was very new to NIFT in general, I did not know that there is much more than fashion designing in this industry. So there are other streams as well. You can have accessory design, you can have leather design, you can have fashion communication. So this industry in itself is very vast, but that knowledge is still not there in some part of the country. So at that point of time, Banaras was not very much in sync with what is NIFT and what is NIT. So that knowledge came to me when I entered NIFT. And from there, when I was interning with the company, I was interning with a retail firm, Shoppers Stop. I was interning partially for design team and partially for merchandising team. So merchandising team usually has a lot of challenges to deal with because they are not just designing for one individual, they are designing for masses. So there are different body types that you have to look into. There are different cost range that you have to look into. It's, you know, the demographics and the geographic locations, everything matters. So it's a very challenging role, first of all, and I was very much open to challenges. So I decided that I will step into merchandising if I did not get a fair chance in fashion design. So while I was looking for jobs, I had campus placement. So that time I was giving interviews for fashion designing, but luck struck me. I got an offer from an export house. They just found out about me that I was interested in merchandising and they offered me the job.
Yeah, Khushbu, you have never thought about the Bollywood after doing this? Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, ma'am. Please.
Excuse me. Yeah, some questions are coming from the audience side. Few questions are there which are related to the fees, curriculum, etc. So I would advise those participants or those attendees to go through the site of different engineering college where you can get the fee structure and all. One question has been asked by one of the attendee. If anyone would like to share your views, Vishwajit or Akshita. The query is that if so many career opportunities are there in the science stream, why most of the students prefer only JEE?
Yeah, actually, I just answered that. So this is, as I said, this may be just a social stigma that yes, if he is doing, I should also pursue that. So yes, of course, there are a lot of career opportunities, and coaching is just the facilitator. So let me be very clear that coaching is only a facilitator that you can achieve that opportunity. So we should be very clear ki exactly what we need to pursue. So whatever is your interest, so to get that objective fulfilled, you can take a help or a support of a coaching, because that will facilitate you, because they have very experienced people or particularly aligned with your area of interest. So they will help to achieve your goals, whatever you wish to pursue in your future. So people are following JEE. Most of the people are there because see, this JEE is particularly for admission in an IIT. So whatever courses you are enrolling yourself in IIT, you can even enroll in a private university. So like BITS is there and other universities are there. Other premium universities are also there. So this is not a thing, but when you get that IIT tag, why people are rushing towards IIT? Yes, I need to have an IIT tag because see, I am not from an IIT, but although I have done it from a private university, which is a deemed university, and now it's an institute of eminence. But those things, all those things are secondary. The first very important thing is what you want to pursue, and for that, what you need to have. So once you have that understanding of this basic question, this rushing for JEE is a separate chapter. So you need not rush to anything. Obviously, having a better option is always preferred. So JEE, their advanced curriculum is very good. They have a rigorous curriculum. They have a better understanding, better facilities, because all these institutes are government funded, and they have a reputation which they have built over a period of time. So that is the main reason why people are rushing for JEE. So, but this may not be the only option for everybody. You can always have other options, what you want to pursue and how you want to do it. So that is where your coaching comes in. So that is just a facilitator.
I totally agree with what Vishwajit said.
Yeah. So one question has especially been asked from Akshita, that how did you prepare for GMAT? One student of JPS wants to know.
Sure, ma'am. So GMAT is administered by GMAC, which is the official body. So they have their own material and practice exams, which are really helpful. So they do provide, I think, a set of 5 question papers that you can like take and enroll into, and they kind of help you understand where you are on the system. Apart from that, there are multiple coaching institutes that provide you with different materials on the verbal side of it, math and reasoning, all those different things. So you can buy those books, practice those questions. But most of these things are available on internet. So what I did was get the information from internet and enroll into GMAC, which is the official body, and download their papers, because I realized the final score that I received in my GMAT was very close to what I was scoring on those practice exams. So if you do that intermittently, maybe like every 1 month or every 2 months, and when you feel comfortable enough with the exams that you're doing, then you can go and give the actual exam. So that's what I had done.
Okay, thank you. So we will be taking some more questions later on. In the meantime, Sarika ma'am and Antima ma'am, please continue.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
Khushbu,
Vishwajit
and
Khushbu.
Akshita,
Akshita,
how did the school prepare you for your career? You want to know how did the school? What is the role of student in public school?
I would say school helped me become a disciplined person. If you would ask my parents, I was anything but disciplined as a kid. But like just being in school, making sure that you're doing your homework on time, being in classes, getting up that early every day to go to school really helps imbibe this discipline in you. That's very important for you to excel in life, because later on, even if say you're in college or when you're working, you have so many deadlines. So every time you're kind of racing against the clock. And that I felt was really helped me in my school, when I could multitask. Like you're doing your science assignment, then you're also doing your math project, and I'm pretty sure like there'll be people participating in annual function. So that builds a foundation so that you can go ahead and excel in not just the college part or the academics portion of it, but also in extracurriculars. Definitely, I feel I've become more disciplined because of my school.
Yes, Vishwajit.
Yeah, I agree with Akshita here. This is somewhere this discipline is very much it's required to nurture within yourself, because life is totally different. Because if we see these Bollywood movies, so I'll like to say it very blunt: life is not a movie. See, all the happy endings, all the good things, we can get to see it in Bollywood movies, but things are not ideal in real life situation. You have to be disciplined. You have to continuously strive, because in this today's the competition is very rigorous. So if you don't compete, so you don't stand. So that is the sad truth of life. So you need to have that discipline built in your core system. So I would say from JPS and way up to my college. So I had whatever I started in JPS building in my school, so I chose to continue it further. So it's always the individual's decision whether you want to take your whatever you have learned from school, or you want to take it to the next level, or you want to drop it behind. So once you take it forward, so I feel like yes, we can be more responsible in our life, in our professional life, and that responsibility will take you to heights. That is what I believe.
Yes, right. Yes, Khushbu.
I think from school, what I mean, as a 15, 16-year-old kid, you don't really know what exactly is happening with you and what do you want to pursue. So then I think coming to JPS was one of the best decisions in terms of identifying myself, the confidence that I built in while staying at the school, because I was almost part of every curriculum activities, and the way I was brought up, I mean, I was every teacher, like everybody would be there helping me out, supporting me and discussing if I have any problems. That time I remember Mamta ma'am used to be the vice principal, and it was so easy to approach her or the principal sir or anybody. So
Right
they
now
have
also,
been.
ma'am is a principal.
Sorry?
Ma'am is a principal right now also.
Yeah. So,
you're free to talk. Yes.
So it was always like the support that I've got, which helped me to be who I am. The confidence that I have is because of what I mean, I was appreciated for exactly what I was good at. So they did not try to mold me in something that I was not. Rather, they helped me shape myself in what exactly I wanted.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah, all the three of you, the very funny question is there from the student side only, I must say that. Your juniors want to know that when you were in the school, in which extracurricular activities you were involved in, and have you done any mischievous thing over there?
Yeah, I have done that. And although I was studious, so but still I believe to be mischievous too. So yeah, during this, I remember one incident where it was a fine arts class. So I had a very rough argument with one of my substitute teachers there. So yeah, so I went dashing through straight to Mamta ma'am's cabin. Told, yeah, I won't be attending this class. This is not good. so so these are very nostalgic moments. So she explained me, you don't need to. I understand. You're in such a age group that people take very rash decisions. They move very fast. So she explained me. She mentored me, and then she calmed me. She had to calm me down. So that is one of the funny incidents I remember.
Okay, yeah, good to hear me also. Yeah, Khushbu and Akshita, what about your experience in T&D?
Except for debate, I have participated in almost everything, and I have won prizes. And the mischievous thing I would say was I used to bunk classes. And
oh my God, you used to bunk the class?
Yes, I used to sit in the library and start reading on my own, find some books which would,
yeah, you have a good reading habit, I must say that. You are having a reading habit. That's why you bunk the class, no? Not for any other reason?
No. It was not for any other reason. I used to bunk the classes and sit in the library to continue with my studies.
But excuse me, Khushbu, one thing I would like to make clear over here, that don't tell that you were bunking the classes. Actually, always you took this permission from the authorities before going to library.
Yeah.
So far as I remember, Khushbu.
I would, every teacher would know where I would be. They knew how they would be finding me in the library. But as a 16-year-old kid, I would see that as I was bunking the classes. But actually, it was not the case.
Okay. Yeah, Akshita.
Ma'am, so again, I wish I was in as many extracurricular activities as Khushbu was. I just had at that time, I think, just a horse eye view on JEE, just because I was kind of in that sphere, like, okay, JEE or nothing, which in retrospect, I think was a bad decision. So yeah, I wish I was in more extracurricular activities, but I wasn't really. As for the mischievous part, I feel like just talking in class when the class would be on used to be a great achievement for me. Like when you go undetected, under the radar, like when you're talking to your benchmate, but the teacher can't catch you. Kind of sounds silly, but then at that time, it just made me quite happy that I could stay under the radar and still keep on talking to people.
Okay, yeah, good, Akshita. Now, Antima,
yes. What message do you want to leave? Those are aspirants for the civil engineer, to go for the MBA, merchandising. Akshita, Biswajit, Khushbu. What messages do you want to leave? Yes.
I would say grab any opportunity that comes your way. Just kind of speaking and talking about my experience, I could not get into IIT, though that kind of seemed like the only goal for me when I was in 12th standard. But I realized just going to BITS opened up so many opportunities for me to become a more confident person that I'm not sure I might have received in other places. I could very well be mistaken, but those 4 years are just so special to me. So it just doesn't matter where you're going, as long as you're able to take the whole potential of the opportunity that is presented to you, would be amazing. Because right now, even when I was 16 years old, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I think I'm still on that path, though things have gotten clearer slightly. But even now, I'm more than happy to pivot my career to, say, a different role if, say, that becomes exciting. So kind of like evaluating every option that comes your way. If it is not in sync with what you have been thinking, just don't disregard it. Definitely give it the due diligence and see if does that matter, or like will that kind of build on your passion that you have. And just one other thing, is okay to not have like a passion. Like I've been hearing, like in general in my life, people always talk about like follow your passion. And for the longest time, I don't think I had one. Which is perfectly okay. It's more about like what interests you, so that interest can build into a passion. So it's okay. Don't fret if you don't have a passion right now. You will definitely discover it on your way forward.
Yes, right. Yes, this is it.
Yeah, if I am to say, then why particularly engineering? Because from the very beginning, I've been saying, why be an engineer? If you have a certain different passion all the way around, so you need to pursue that. Uh, People should pursue their dreams and whatever they wish to have, whatever they wish they want to become, so that is what should be pursued. But yeah, if specifically speaking, some people have if they have certain key interest in becoming a civil engineer later in life, so yeah, I would say that then they should must realize, because this is what I did, so they must realize the power of imagination and the power of what I can say, people should have that power of imagination. You should be able to imagine what you want to build, because in practical life, you will come across a series of very unique and different. Every places where you go, you will have a different set of problem, and they are very unique to that situation. So you need to have that power of imagination, and you can say the power to believe that yes, I can. So once you have these two power, I believe you can solve all your practical problems in life as well as your professional front. So that is what I would say.
Yes, it means you want to say just if you can, if you should have the ability, just I can. है ना?
Yes.
This type of message. Yes. Okay. And yes, Khushbu?
I think, like, to be very honest, when you're 15 or 16 years old, you don't have that much of clarity in your thought process, what you exactly want to pursue, as Mr. Deep and Akshita have said. It's more like the clarity comes at a later stage. But yes, just keep on doing what you want to do. Just do not restrict yourself that this is what I want to do. It's always good to take feedback from people, but ultimately you're the one who has to lead the life. So do what exactly you want. So yeah, so
Yes.
I have seen people becoming models and actors after completing the fashion designing course. I have seen them being a project manager. I have seen them becoming anything and everything. So I think you can't really know what you exactly want to be at that point of time. But yes, some clarity starts coming in after discussing. And now with the access that the today's generation has, we did not have those. We had to go to cyber cafes and find out what exactly career opportunities we can look into. So now with everything one tap away, I think it's always good to explore. So keep on exploring and finding what suits you, what suits your personality, what suits your interest.
Okay, thank you, Bachchan.
Okay, just
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Some questions are again there from the students. One question from Vishwajit is that what are the requirements to get into Tata Power? Then next question to Akshita, here the child has heard that there is no reservation policy in BITS Pilani. Is it true? Or one question from Khushbu, that how did she balance maths and physics with fine arts? Because the science student seems to be over-pressurized while preparing for maths, physics, and chemistry. So how did she balance it? So all these three questions open to you all.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with the first one. So this nothing can be, we cannot call it a superb placement, because whatever CTC they offered me was quite low, because they took the advantage of the placement issues in the country when I was placed back in 2013. Anyways, but I feel myself privileged to be working for an organization which puts the national interest ahead of its own goal, because for being if you are associated with a Tata, a promise is a promise. So once we make a promise, we need to deliver. And I'm very happy to say that I have been able to build that culture within myself, being a part of the Tata family. So now the next part of the question, ki how should you prepare to get a placement in Tata? See, as of now, since the dynamics have changed across the country, the placement scenarios are changing. So what there are opportunities because for Tata Group, as much as I'm aware, the placements are happening only through campus recruitments as well as happen for the lateral recruitments. So for campus placements, once it's similar to the process for every other company that follows. You need to have a certain predefined set of CGPA across your semester. So that means you need to have a consistent performance throughout your BTech semesters and BTech or the other diploma or IIT, whatever that you choose to pursue. So you need to have a consistent performance in your career. And then there is a written examination followed by GD, group discussion. So you need to prove yourself. See, that is where I'm saying the dynamics have already changed a lot. So you need to prove yourself at every step because that is how the competition is. So now the process will only get stringent every year because people are more, the jobs are less. So that is the sad reality. So anyways, nothing to get disheartened about. If you believe in yourself, you have your concepts, you have your, what can I say, you have your determination intact, and you don't allow the other things that are happening around the world to change or divert you from that path. So definitely you can make through all these things, because if you are able to crack these competitive exams and get yourself in a college, then you have a very good potential to crack all the competitive exams that are conducted by these companies, be it Tata, be it Adani, be it anything else. So you have that equivalent potential. So you just need to believe in yourself. You need to keep your preparations intact. You need to have that daily practice and determination. So definitely it will help to get it through.
So I'll answer my question. Yes, BITS Pilani does not have any reservation whatsoever, something that we really pride ourselves in. So we have a common exam that is called as BITSAT that is administered over a course of, if I'm not mistaken, around 3 to 4 months. And based on that score, you are able to receive whatever discipline and which campus, because BITS is across 4 different campuses. Though having said that, we do have around 25 to 30 people coming every year who are the toppers of their board exams. So you can think of state boards from, say, like Tamil Nadu to Bihar to UP and all. So we do have that certain, if you would call that, reservation, but that's again merit based, because then you have to top your own board exam to get through it. Otherwise, you can give BITSAT.
I will continue with my question. Yeah, so that's a very valid question. How, I mean, along with PCM, managing fine arts was not an easy task, but then when you have discipline, when you have perseverance, you do it. You just want to do it. My first priority was definitely PCM, and in my recreational time, I would continue with fine arts. And the classes that we were having, it was I think 2 times a week. That was enough. So I took it as a recreational part rather than just focusing on that part and not controlling. PCM was my first focus.
Thank you, guys. It was an incredible online, I can say, alumni talk. As myself, Harika Gupta, on the behalf of Jeevandeep Public School, at the shortage of the time, I have to.
Sorry, ma'am, just last person I would like to share with them, because
okay,
so many children
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure, why not?
Yeah. So common question has been thrown to all 3 of them. So this common question is for all 3 of them, that how did they prepare for their class 12 board examination? All 3 of you, please.
For board exams in 12th, we were lucky that time, because I remember being the very first batch of JPS. So even our mentors were very keen, so that the preparation is complete beyond 100%, what we call it. So what I remember this, we used to get the additional notes from which are being tutored in the nearby schools like Sunbeam also, whatever curriculum they were following. Even our mentors adopted those curriculum also within our own syllabus, so that none of the questions are missed out. So that is something I would really like to appreciate. And the effort that we took, that was beyond the, what we call beyond walking beyond the miles. So yes, they prepared us. Exhaustive study was done, and that is how we were able to successfully crack the board exams.
I would like to echo Vishwajit's words. Just to add on that, we did have access to some of the previous year question papers that really helped us understand what kind of questions should we be expecting, considering obviously 12 boards has been going on for a while, so you definitely start seeing some kind of a pattern. But just as a basic rule, I think fundamentals, NCERT was quite good, at least for maths, I would remember. And for science, we did have some supplement books, but I am forgetting those names right now. But mostly it was NCERT, and definitely looking at previous year's question papers. Those were very helpful to me.
I would just continue with what Vishwajit and Akshita has said. So I think the supplement books that you were talking about were H.C. Verma and R.S. Agarwal.
Yes, thank you.
So yes, that's true. We did have those set of books with us, and whenever we were, I mean, NCERT is enough, but then you always want to go beyond and learn more. So we were always coming up with questions from those set of books, and the teachers were always welcoming us. They were helping us out, and yes, so I think you just need to put in your concentration while studying. And I think you have a lot of information available on the internet now. You have a lot of, I would say you have a lot of time. We did not have that much of time. We used to go to the school, sit there. We had only 1 hour with each teacher. And then, so yeah, we had a lot of movement actually. So I think you have a lot of time, and you can put in your focus. And a lot of books are available, so you can just spend.
Yeah, guys, any tips for the board exam which you have followed?
I would say just don't study 24/7. Make sure you're taking regular breaks, because our brain can just process as much information, and you don't want it to start fatiguing right before the board exam. So taking those breaks are very important. I'm sure Jeevandeep is already helping you all to get to the state where you want to be in terms of academics. You definitely have to take care of your mental health. Just don't be pressurized. It's not the end of the world. There are people, you will find so many examples of people say not doing so well as they wanted, yet excelling in their life. And obviously people doing well in the boards and doing well later as well. So just treat it as any other exam. Trust me, it's just like just the hype around it is that bad. It's not, the exam content isn't that bad. We all have gone through it. Now, thankfully, it's been so long that I don't have to remember my board exams anymore. But at least it's just any other exam. But so make sure you're taking enough breaks, playing some sport, doing some recreational activities. I remember I used to play board games with my parents just to decompress. So those things are really important.
Thank you, Akshita. Anyone wants to say anything? By the shortage of the time, now I have to say thanks to everyone. Yeah, Khushbu.
I just wanted to add here, I don't know if the yoga classes are still continuing. I learned
it's still
meditation. Yeah, so I learned meditation from there, and early in the morning I used to meditate before writing my board examinations. And it was really helping me because I was de-stressing myself before I was going for the examination. So I think
meditation class and yoga class is still going on in the
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that students can do early in the morning. It's just the thing that you have to do. So yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay, thanks, Khushbu. Ma'am, should I, by the shortage of the time?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am. On the behalf of Jeevandeep School, myself, Sarika Gupta, and the entire fraternity of the institution, I say thanks to you all. Firstly, we like to thank to Chairman Sir, Ma'am, Dr. Ashok Singh and Dr. Anshu Singh to provide such a platform to conduct alumni talk. A special mention to our respected principal, Dr. Mamta Singh Ma'am, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best and standing as a pillar of strength. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank our loving Vice Principal Sir, Mr. Manoj Singh, for his untiring effort. I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our Director Ma'am, Ms. Akanksha Singh, who spared time from her busiest schedule to grace the alumni meet. I am immensely thankful to Mrs. Antima Singh for her effort toward anchoring of today's. I would also like to say special thanks to Mr. Ashish Singh for his technical effort. Without it, it won't be possible. Our sincere gratitude goes to all the parents and the well-wishers for their rock-solid support system and encouragement. We would also like to thank our faculties and staff members for attending Alumni Talk and contributed toward making it such an unforgettable event. And finally, I would like to thank our budding rock stars, Akshita, Khushbu, and Vishwaji, who spared their time from the busiest schedule. We had an opportunity to hear their thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage our students and viewers. Thank you so much for attending this event. Have a good day to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Thanks, guys.